Okay, we'll make a start, folks. So thank you for tuning in live. This is taking me back to the COVID days of teaching, which is a good thing because I have lots of Microsoft Teams skills, but we're very happy to have all our students back on site with us. But thank you for tuning in tonight. It's really just an opportunity to give you a little bit more information about our upcoming Year 5 camp, or as I like to call it, the Year 5 excursion, because it's a little bit different than some of the other camps that the students experience in their time with us at St. Greg's. So first thing, staff attending on the Canberra excursion are Mrs. Burton, Mrs. Kerr as the Year 5 teachers, along with Mr. Howe and myself. We're very excited. We actually did the Canberra excursion all together last year as well. So we're looking forward to going back in a slightly colder time of year than when we went last year. I've got my winter woolies packed and ready to go. Mrs. Burton, did you want to chat through the what students can expect in terms of the menu?
Yeah, of course. The food at Canberra Park is delicious. There's a variety of different foods, as you can see on the menu. There's a cooked breakfast. There's plenty of different cereals, toasts. This is a sample menu that you can see. Some of the things that they've got on there is schnitzel, lasagna, buttered chicken. There is something for everybody, and they do cater towards the children that have different allergies or dietary requirements. You would have already given us that information, and they usually serve those children first so that there's no cross-contamination of the food too. All right, over to the rooms. At the moment, Mrs. Kerr and I are working to allocate rooms for the students. We are getting some of their preferences from the students, and we're putting the rooms together. We'll make sure that they have at least one other child with them that they feel comfortable with. And most of the rooms will have 2 sets of bunks. Some of them will have 2 to 3 children in the room, but the majority have 4 children per room. They have an internal ensuite and separate toilet. So all those amenities are contained within each cabin. As you can see in the picture, there is a central area in between the cabins where we meet, and we will do some activities together, or we might give the children some information and before we go out of the day and when we come back in the evening. The teachers are seated, the teachers have the end cabins, so the males are on one side of the building and the teachers have the end cabins on that side, and the females are on the other side of the building and the teachers have the end cabins on that one, so that we can also monitor entry and exit to the rooms. The children aren't able to get out at night, so if there's any concerns of that, and we're available the whole time. So it's a really good setup at Canberra Park. And over to Mrs. Kerr for what to pack.
Oh, the all-important packing list. Now, I know this went out to parents on the parent portal, but it's really, really important that I guess you and your child sit down and the children pack their bags themselves, because we know by Year 5, we're really trying to get them to be a bit more organised for themselves. Any medication, and I know Mr. Gannon's going to talk about this at the end of the presentation, any medication is going to need to be labelled with your child's name. And on the morning of the camp, you will need to find Mr. Gannon and give all of that to him. That's going to be really, really important. So that's why that's at the top of that list. In terms of luggage, your children are going to need to be able to carry their own bag. So please don't pack the big European suitcase. That's not going to work for them. So if you're packing together, make sure you've got a list and pack the list in the bag. That way, when they're packing at the end of our excursion, they can check things off and know that they have everything. So they will need an overnight bag for their overnight clothes, pyjamas, day 2 and day 3 clothes. And they'll also need to pack their toiletries into that as well. The children are also encouraged to bring a day bag as well, and that will have like their snacks and water bottles. They will definitely need snacks for day 1. They will also need wet weather gear. They will also need, a pen or a notebook if they want to write some things down, their hat, of course, and we really encourage everything to be labelled. Toiletries, all linen is provided at Canberra Park, and that's one of the benefits of staying where we stay. So, but an extra towel probably wouldn't go astray for some children. One of the things we really do want to encourage parents is, can we just have roll-on deodorants? We will not allow students to bring in any aerosols with them. Another really good tip is to bring a garbage bag or a plastic bag for those dirty clothes so that they can pack those away, maybe one for each day, and that way it's all kind of put away nicely into their suitcases. They will be wearing their winter uniform while we are on the excursion. That is a must. We are representing our school, and when we visit Parliament House, we want us to be looking the best we can be. So please make sure boys have ties, girls have their shirt ties as well. They have their tights, boys their nice long pants, nothing with holes in it if we can avoid it, and shiny black shoes. That would be really, really good. Another thing to note is children will not need a phone, and we don't want them bringing cameras or any other digital technologies like smartwatches. So we need, if we're needing to be contacted, you will have the school mobile number to be able to do that. And there's no opportunity for spending, so please don't provide any spending money for the students as well. And on to our next slide. I know last year, being my first year on the Year 5 camp, a few children were a little bit, I wouldn't say upset, but a little bit nervous about being away from home for the night. So I know my little mini torch that I had packed in case I needed to get up in the middle of the night was snaffled by another student. So a small nightlight perhaps, or a book I would definitely recommend for them just to wind down in bed with. And even if they want to bring their special toy, that's very much encouraged as well. So whatever's going to make them feel cozy and home in their cabins with their friends. And moving on, what not to bring. So I have covered some of this already. Aerosol cans. Deodorant, absolutely. Yes, we are now in Year 5s, but can it please be a spray? Can it please be a roll-on deodorant? And if you have one of those children that is a bit susceptible to insects and mozzies, a roll-on for that as well. Definitely no mobile phones, cameras, or other electronic devices. Staff will call you if necessary, and we can also get in touch. All food is provided by the Canberra Centre, so breakfast, lunch and dinners while we're away are provided. No outside food can be brought in due to their regulations, and that's about keeping everybody safe in terms of other children's dietary needs and their allergies. We're really happy to make some adjustments for those children, so just please make yourself known and email the office and we can get that conversation started. Really important that special things like special jewellery is not brought. We would be really sad for things to get lost, and of course anything else that's valuable. So Canberra Park is not going to take any responsibility for the loss or damage to people's property, and that includes money, which we've said before. There's no opportunity to spend, so please don't bring any money. And the itinerary.
Well, this is the exciting part. So on our first day, this is a bit of sleeping for us from the last one. We are departing at 7:30 a.m. So just to be ready in their full school winter uniform, make sure that they've packed or are wearing their school jumper, that they have also their other parka as well. It probably will be cold, a lot colder than what we have here at the moment in Canberra. Our first point of call is the Royal Australian Mint, which last year was redeveloped. So it is really exciting now and very interactive. It's a nice place. Then we head to Parliament House, and we're very lucky. Mrs. Kerr and I have looked at some of the information lately, and looks like Parliament will be sitting and opening at the time that we are there. We also will then head back to our accommodation. On the Thursday in the morning, we'll depart our accommodation quite early and we'll head to Government House. We'll have a tour of the National Gallery of Australia, go on a bus tour of the embassies and the Lodge District, which is quite interesting, seeing all the different embassies that we have in Canberra. The Museum of Australian Democracy is another very interactive experience, and the kids get to look at different historical artifacts as well as different art while we're there. We'll head to the National Electoral Education Centre and we'll go through a voting simulation. And then this is a little bit of a change from last year. We've changed the Questacon to a night activity, which will give us some more time there. On the Friday, we will start at Mount Ainslie Lookout and we'll be able to see all the way across Canberra. From there, we'll head to the War Memorial, the National Arboretum, which is kind of like a botanic garden. And it's a nice play area there for the children. From there, we'll head home and we will be back at the junior school, all going well, but at approximately 4:30 p.m. You know, it is one of the best excursions that we get to go on. We're very busy. We don't have a lot of time to stop. The kids are always perfectly behaved. We are really lucky here at St. Greg's with the students' behaviour. They do us proud every year and we're looking forward to taking them again this year.
Thanks, Ms. Burton.
You're welcome.
One thing I was just going to note there, that's highlighted that change from the initial note that was sent out. So originally it was an estimated return time of about 5:36 p.m, whereas because we've moved Questacon to as a night activity now, that's shifted that time back. So if you've got a printout of the initial note that was sent out or you've written it in a calendar, just make sure that you update it to reflect that change of return time as now being 4:30 on the Friday when we return home. So chatting about medication, Mrs. Kerr obviously already mentioned some of this earlier. The big thing is we require permission from you as parents or carers to administer medication while we have your child down in Canberra. So it's really important that you've filled in the request for permission to administer medication form. So that was sent out with the initial central push, but we can make sure that that's resent out, or if you believe that you haven't filled in a form and you do need to fill one in for anything that your child might require, please make sure that that's completed. Otherwise, we simply cannot deliver it. And in order for us to be able to deliver it, whether it's a prescribed or non-prescribed medication, it has to be in the original packaging from the pharmacy. So if it's a prescribed medication, it has to have your child's name on it. So if there's, for instance, a situation where a sister and a brother take the same medication, if we don't have the specific child's box or package, we can't administer that medication. So the label has to match the student that is coming with us. A really good idea, because I collected all in the morning of the excursion, is to put it in a Ziploc bag just with your child's name written on it, so that I can make sure that I've got all of those children's medication together and that I can then sort it into the class groups that go on separate buses, just to make sure that it's with them at all times. So if you can assist with that, that would be wonderful. Things like Panadol and Nurofen or different things that may be required in case, you're welcome to pack those if you'd like. We do take some of those as well, and we would contact you if your child had a headache and we feel like administering Panadol is required. Don't feel like you need to fill in a form for everything that might be required. We would just give you a phone call and chat through what they're currently experiencing and what we'd like to administer in that case. Just that second point there on the slide, medication has to be given to me the morning of camp. It cannot be in a student's bag. That's just for their safety and the safety of every child. We want to make sure that all medication is with us as the adults on the excursion. So if you can please make sure that you deliver it to me in the morning, that's wonderful. And we've already talked about the original packaging and delivering it to me in the morning. So we'll have time for questions about that shortly. I just want to say a couple of quick thank yous before we take questions. So firstly, a thank you to Mrs. Kerr and Mrs. Burton for being here tonight and helping helping to answer some of these frequently asked questions, but also a thank you to Mrs. Burton, Mrs. Kerr and Mr. Howe for giving up those 3 days from their families to take the students on a wonderful experience. It's a really enjoyable time, but I'm aware that it comes with the sacrifices of those 3 days away from family. So a big thank you to them. What I'll do now is I will stop sharing my screen and I'll bring back up our call. And this is a chance for us to answer any questions that you may have. So I can see a few have already popped up in the chat. So Michael's asked about bringing of food on the first day. So just to clarify, students are fed for the entire time except for the snacks and their lunch on the first day of the excursion. So if you can please make sure in their bags that they have a recess snack and some lunch food, maybe an afternoon tea snack as well. Just we don't receive the food from the accommodation until we actually arrive that afternoon. So if you can please make sure that's packed, that would be wonderful. Ashley's asked about...
Yeah, there are PowerPoints in the children's rooms.
Perfect. So if you've got a nightlight that requires charging, that will be there. Anonymous question around wearing a plain black coat instead of the school parka. All for the first day where we're in our school uniform, all clothes that the students wear have to be the official college uniform. But then for the second and third day, the students are in casual wear. So they're able to wear their sensible covered clothing that's more of a casual sense. So hopefully that helps clarify that. Carolyn's asked, confirming departure time is 7:30. No, it was 8. Yes, departure time, my understanding is 7:30, but I'll triple check tomorrow and make sure that that's sent out to the family so that you can plan your mornings there. So leave that with me, Carolyn, and I'll double check with the bus company and confirm that with all of the parents' carers tomorrow. And Ashley's asked, whilst linen is provided, do you recommend a sleeping bag or will there be additional blankets? The rooms actually have centralized heating, so we can control the temperature in the room. Last year, the sleeping bags weren't required. The students just slept with the provided linen. And I can tell you that the heating works very effectively because I remember having to get up in the middle of the night and adjust the temperature quite significantly. So yeah, sleeping bags won't be something that's required. No worries. If anyone else had any questions, feel free to pop them in the chat, or you're welcome to unmute as well if you'd like.
Sorry, one other quick question from me. School hat, or don't worry about bringing their school hat?
Great question. For the first day, we will be spending some time outside at the Mint briefly so that they can eat food. It would be a great idea to have the school hat with them for that first day just to complete that college uniform. But then the other days, they won't be required to wear their college hat. They can just wear a casual hat. So it might be a good idea to pack the school hat in their day bag and then a casual hat in their luggage that they can use for the second and the third day.
And one of the things I noticed last year was many of the students just wore their school hat all 3 days rather than be trying to mix and match. So it just was easy for them to keep track of things if they just had the school hat.
Perfect. Another question in the chat around the leaving time and arrival time. So I'll confirm all that with the bus company just to make sure that we've got the right arrival time. If it is departure at 7:30, we generally have everyone arrive half an hour before just so that we can do that medication process, make sure we've got everyone do that last minute bathroom trip, even though they say they don't need to go and all those sort of things. So if it was 7:30 departure, it would be 7 a.m. arrival. And if it was 8 a.m. departure, we'd make that 7:30 arrival. So I will triple check that for you tomorrow and make sure that's communicated out. Any other questions before we wrap up?
Sorry, just one more from me.
Yeah.
You said to bring a little day bag, so that can just be like a little Nike backpack or something like that. Is that okay? Or
so do you mean for the bus trip?
Yeah, you know how you said just for like on the bus, they don't need to bring their school bag, just like a little everyday type.
Yeah, if it won't
actually,
yeah, it won't come off the bus with them.
Yeah.
Because the only time that we use it is on the first day when we're saying to them, grab out your lunch, grab out your hat, and we're just going to head off the bus. I do like the idea of the sports bag. I think it helps in terms of uniformity. So if you're able to, that would be wonderful. Going once. Twice.
I
Sold.
was just,
Perfect.
I was
Yes.
also going to mention, like, with bringing things to keep themselves entertained on the bus, little notebooks to draw in, the novels, like Mrs. Kerr said. Some of the
Binder
students brought
words.
card games to
Yes.
play, or travel board games. We do bring some board games for them to play during our downtime, between arriving back from our excursions and eating dinner. And after that, so anything little like that that's not electronic, we encourage them to bring things like crosswords and finder words too.
Great. Thanks, Mrs. Burton, and thank you, Mrs. Kerr, and thank you everyone for tuning in. Really appreciate your attendance and questions tonight, so thank you. Like I said, I'll confirm those final details around that and get some communication sent out to you. If you have any other questions or you'd like to clarify anything, please get in contact with our junior school office so that we can make sure that we're answering any questions. But really appreciate your attendance. Thank you so much. Have a great rest of your evening.